I have a 2008 Jayco Octane T21X. I purchased it in March of 2022. It was in pretty rough shape. The previous owner did not know how to take care of things, but the bones were solid. It's now March of 2025. This is everything I've done over the last 3 years, whether I wanted to or not. When I got the RV, the roof was in really rough shape. I went ahead, pressure washed it, cleaned it really, really good. Eterna bonded every seam there was, and then painted it with Henry's Tropicool. We've been in some torrential downpours, not a drop. This RV does not leak. It has fortunately never leaked. I wanted to organize the tongue of the trailer, so I went ahead and mounted a hitch receiver permanently to the tongue. So now I can run a Cobra lock through both tow chains, which I have hooked onto the weight distribution tensioner. I run through my hitch carrying tool to my hitch receiver. I lay both of my weight distribution bars on top of those two pieces of super strut so I can run the Cobra lock through that. The lock that I made for my batteries, I just tighten this down. I can run my Cobra lock through that right there and then back to the lock itself. So I'm locking up both chains, my hitch carrying tool, both weight distribution bars, both batteries with one Cobra lock. To keep from getting greasy, I made these covers for my weight distribution bars, just some ABS plastic, a strap with Velcro. All I do, just slide them over the bars, wrap the Velcro around a couple of times, and that way I don't have to deal with any mess. I knew there were electrical issues when I bought it. A couple of fixes. I had to replace the fuse and fuse holder to the battery disconnect switch, which is right down there. Got tired of this thing coming undone every time I opened it up, so all I did is drilled a couple of holes in the small part right here, ran a zip tie through there, under right there, made them tight now. This thing never comes undone. Another thing is inside the tanks, I just ran a cable through the two tanks, under the holder, locks right to this lock that I keep on my trailer tongue, whether I'm traveling or not. With today's sewer hoses, this part is pretty much obsolete. To use it, what I did was I took a piece of metal gutter cover, cut it, fashioned it to size, put some tape around it, and now it fits perfectly. I can keep a few things in there so it's not wasted space. The generator was not working when I purchased it. I was told it was just bad gas. It was not bad gas. I shot a parts cannon at it, replaced everything I could from the top, didn't fix anything, ended up pulling the generator, tearing it apart. Turned out the valves were just coated in so much carbon and so out of adjustment. Took to a machine shop. They charged me $80 to do a valve job and resurface the head. Put it back together. Runs like a champ. I don't like that the generator gets its gas from the 20-gallon fuel station in the very back. So I went ahead and disconnected that. Just ran a shorter hose. I use this 2-gallon gas can, which I've adapted for the generator. That way, I'm running fresh gas all the time. I don't have to keep a bunch of gas in there just to run this when I want to, especially when I run it once a month, just to make sure that things are on the up and up. And it's also nice that when I want to stop, I just pull the hose out of the can, let it run empty. That way, it's not gumming up the carb or anything. I keep my extension cords on top of the generator while traveling. It was just wasted space. Works perfect. I had more wasted space on the side of the generator, so I mounted a 2x4 down there. I can keep 4 ammo cans with stuff that just takes up space, but you gotta have. The strap keeps them in place. This right here keeps them from rocking side to side. nice and solid, not going anywhere. Good utilization of wasted space. Added a water drain hose to my hot water heater and a bug screen on the inside. Added a safety waste gate valve to the end of the sewer pipe. It's a lifesaver. Also added this easy to turn cap. Added a Zerk and a screw to the valve. That way I can just undo the screw, pump a couple pumps of grease, put it all back together. I'm good to go. And I also added a screw right here. And that way when I turn this doesn't come undone. Bug screen on the furnace exhaust. 2 new freshwater drain valves. Also took a grinder and hit the corners of each one of these. That way they're not sharp and pointy like a razor blade now. Also added a sewer septic hose storage system. 8 feet long, 5x5 vinyl. Works fantastic. Had to replace the pump at the fuel station. The old one was toast. There was no saving it. I replaced it with this one. It's just a portable pump. Mounted it permanently. Works great. Also put a secondary switch on the inside. So not only does that switch have to be on, but this pull knob has to be on in order for it to run. I keep a cover on the nozzle at all times. I also keep a funnel with a manual pump just in case this one fails. I can still get to the gas and ride my toys. I had to replace a rim and buy 5 new tires. I put small ball valves on the end of my freshwater vents because I do a lot of mountain driving and I got tired of my freshwater tanks draining every time I went up a hill. We use these smart straps for our toy hauler ramp to turn it into a patio. We already had pre-existing holes in the frame right here. I just went ahead and put some paint around the hole and around this so I know which one to put in. Added a D-ring and a level on each side. One for each side. When I'm done, had to replace the spare tire carrier as it was not working. I have 2 freshwater tanks that carry 112 gallons total. All I had were the 2 tiny drain valves that you saw before. So I tied into the hose that goes between the 2 tanks and added a 3/4 inch drain valve. I dropped the fuel station tank and gave it a good cleaning. The steps were toast. I went ahead and drilled out the rivets, took this part out, replaced it with some all thread and aluminum tubing, a couple of nuts on the outside on each side. This thing works like a champ now. I highly recommend this extra adjustable platform to use as a step. You never know where you're going to camp or how high you're going to be off the ground. Added a grab bar handle for the door. Solar motion light for the steps. New door catch and stopper. New caps for the awning arms. New black tank wastegate seals. New gray water wastegate valve. Zerk screw at the top. First thing you come to as you enter the RV is our charging station. I have a tablet mount, pouches for all the different cords. I have an Android, my wife has an iPhone. I added this charging station, this little thing here. Just kind of clip your charging cords in there as they're charging. This cup holder is not a cup holder. It is for an inverter converter. I'm not sure which one it is. Because this TV is 120 volt only, I have these plugs up here. When I want to run 12 volt, I just unplug it from the wall, plug it into the little inverter converter, which sits right in there. We're good to go on 12 volt. Lots of shelf space and storage above the sink and stove. The microwave was not working when I bought it, so I had to replace it. The furnace, which is behind that grill and underneath all these cabinets with no access from the outside, was not working. I had to pull out the furnace, take it apart, ended up just being a dirty sale switch. Cleaned it all up, put it back together, works like a charm. The tank sensors were not working when I bought the RV. Mostly freshwater. I went ahead and replaced the wires to the sensors, then didn't do the job. Ended up replacing the sensor monitor itself. Of course, I couldn't get the one with just 4, which is what mine has. I had to get the one with 5, so this one is just not used, but it works. One of the original ducts for the heater comes out of the cabinet right there, and it goes into nothing, no space at all. It's just blocked off. So my wife went and made some ductwork for it. It pops right out, pops right in. That way it diverts all the air around here. I've got some extra padding for the couches and the dinette. New window coverings all around. We keep Velcro tabs around them when we're traveling. When we get to where we're going, we take them off. These just pull down, pull up. The twist of this little bar, you can either close them or open them to see through. Our water pump went out. Fortunately, I carry a spare. I just replaced it at the campground. No problem. We were good to go. We recarpeted the bedrooms in our house, had some left over, so we use it on the inside. Replaced the barrel style LED lights with the flat style LED lights where all the LEDs are pointing down. Man, what a difference. On the Happy Jack bed, I drilled 3 holes equal distance apart, put in a nutsert, and then screwed in these eye bolts with get the eye bolts tight, tighten the washer, they're not going anywhere. Did it on both sides. That way I can hang things. I can run a ratchet strap around there, hang wet items, let them drip into buckets when we're not at camp. We don't want them to be outside to be have a chance to be stolen. Just gives me a lot of options. What we have here is a shoe rack. It's just a piece of shelving attached to the wall. Folds down. This bar clips on the end. And this goes on the screw right there. Done. It's out of the way. Nice place to keep your shoes off the ground. Don't have to bend over to get to them. There's one of those bars on each side. Mounted the fire extinguisher with the given mount. Problem is it would fall out every time we travel. So I just bolted this Velcro strap to the wall. That way, just like this, pops right out. Doesn't fall out when I'm traveling. Okay, with the toy hauler door open, I've got a leveler here that goes from side to side. I've got a little leveler here that goes from front to back. My wife can stand right at the door, see both of them, and direct me accordingly. Gotta have the screen door handle. Had to put on a new door lock. Added a stainless steel faucet. When we travel, we just put a clothespin right here on the roll of paper towels to keep them from unfolding. The stove cover also serves as a backsplash. The toy hauler came with a porcelain toilet. I did, however, have to replace the ball gasket. It's not fun because on this model, the whole toilet had to come out. Little Harbor Freight Velcro mounted light, like $3. What's nice, in the middle of the night, you got to get up and use the bathroom. You're not blinded by the light. Flick this on. The top there, just cut it out of a milk carton and put it over there. That way it's not shining up in your face. I put pipe insulation on all the PEX pipes throughout the toy hauler. That way it keeps down on the noise from the water pump. We definitely utilize the tub while we travel. Keep our chairs, rolled up carpet, solar charger in there. Of course, Oxygenics shower head. We also put this shower rod across the back here with these hooks. That way we can hang stuff, bathing suits, washcloths, wet towels. Kind of put the hooks over this towel when we travel. But yeah, that's the shower. Added a stainless steel faucet in the bathroom. Motion light in the closet door. Took out one of the beds because it's just my wife and I. We don't need two. A couple of 99-cent Harbor Freight lights we have attached with some kind of command sticky Velcro stuff here. What's nice about this is when the bed's lowered, bed sits right down here. This is right by our heads, so if we need a light real quick, we grab it, we're good to go. To secure the TV, I just put a Velcro strap, mounted it on the bottom and the top, and that way I can tighten it, loosen it, and when I'm traveling, this thing doesn't go anywhere. During the winter, get yourself a big bucket of damp rid. Just let it sit on the counter. You'll be amazed at how much moisture this thing absorbs. We carry a small folding indoor-outdoor table. That way we can use it indoors or outdoors if we have to. What's nice about using these smaller totes is they don't get too heavy and they store for us easily under the couch. Added a rear view camera for when I back up or just drive down the highway. The only way it turns on is if your headlights are on. This folding bench is a must-have for us. We use it to get in and out of the truck, use it to climb up on top of the ladder, use it as a bench. We use it to set our ice chests on. It's just a lifesaver in so many respects.